All right, all right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of our friends, to our Matrix International friends. My name is Carlos Barbosa, CEO of Matrix International. I'm here today on our very first Chats with Carlos with my friend and client, Diogo Pio, one of our greatest clients in South America. He is in Brazil. What we're going to be discussing here on these spaces, things like why did you decide to expand your business into the US? What was the greatest challenge, your greatest satisfaction, things like that. So before we start, I would like for Diogo to introduce himself, tell us a little bit about what is that you guys do, and where are you? So Diogo, please.
Amazing. Hello, Carlos. Hello, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be here. We've been doing business for quite some time now, and we're fortunate enough to meet during very glad occasions, right? So thank you for having me. It's an honor. This is a topic I love talking about. So I'm from Brazil. I have a company here in Brazil, but for the past 3 years, we've also been working for American clients. We've established an office in the US with Matrix International. And since then, most of our business have happened in United States territory. So our company is called Arrive Studios. We are a post-production house. So we do motion design and video editing for clients, and we provide services to video agencies, marketing agencies, and other companies. Mostly in California, a little bit in New York, Florida, and some major states. It's been an incredible journey, and again, every time I see Carlos, it's always a pleasure because he's helped us make that possible.
Oh, my friend, thank you so much for those kind words. It's all about you guys, and it's all about the clients, and it really makes us really happy to see you guys succeed here in the US and make your dreams come true. So tell me a little bit about the origin of this idea. What made you think about being successful in Brazil with your company there? What made you think why the US? Why expand? What gave you that idea?
Yeah, there's a number of reasons. But mostly, I think every Brazilian looks up to that, like America, the most powerful country in the world and the strongest economy. I feel like everyone has this feeling of working abroad for a series of reasons. For us, besides that, it was about the maturity of our industry, which is like when we're talking about video production and working in cinema and film, etc. The United States are just, let's say, better in general, like stronger. It's a better market. It's a more mature industry. So we've always wanted to enter that, to be part of that. But we didn't know where to begin. So we didn't know how to get started with that. We've always had that feeling, that desire, but we didn't know how to take that step. So little by little, a lot of things happened, and part of what we wanted has been accomplished. But I think the United States, like the US in general, feels more welcoming to us. The culture, the structure, the communication. Like even now, we think about expanding to other countries, but it doesn't feel that welcoming. We feel like there's a lot we don't know, a lot about the people, a lot about like even language barriers. So Americans in general, we're more used to them. The relationship between the US and the rest of the world is pretty good in general for most of it. For language matters and market, and anyway, that most of the states we work with individually, Brazil is a big country, right? It's among the 10 economies in the world. It's the fifth territory, one of the biggest populations in the world. And still, there are 4 states in the US that individually have a stronger economy than our entire country. So It's massive. It's impressive. So that also helps a lot when you think about developing businesses, about growing and expanding. So it's always very welcoming. And even now, we feel like there's so much to grow. There's a lot of room for improvement, for expanding, and we're really glad we took that step.
No. I'm glad to hear that. And yeah, it's true. The American economy is still the largest in the world. And as you say, welcoming to diverse people from all over the world that want to do business here and and have success, whether they do it in person here or remotely like you guys. It's still an open economy. Now let's talk about the challenges. What was kind of the biggest challenge that you guys faced when doing this? Because I know that not everything is roses and perfume, right? There's got to be some days that you woke up and said, "Oh my God, what am I going to do here or there? Or that American guy doesn't understand me." What was sort of the biggest challenge that you guys faced?
I still do, by the way, right? Every time we talk about it, it feels like, oh, it's super easy and like you said, it's all roses, but it's a constant battle, right? It feels like a constant war. So I think one of the biggest challenges was at the very beginning, because everyone wants that, but taking the first step is really hard. So where do I begin? I want to go to the US, but how can I set up my company? How can I pay taxes? Can I do that? Or maybe I can't. I don't even know what I can do or I cannot do. And I'm afraid that I might do something wrong and have trouble with that. So the first step was very challenging. Before we finally came across good partners like yourself, we didn't know where to go. We didn't know what to do. Everything is new. And the way we're used to doing business is not the same in another country. So that was a first, and it took us a while to have the courage to actually get that done. After we decided to, it was just that we decided to do it, and it was easier than we thought. But it was all about taking the time and accepting that idea and going after that. So I think that was one big challenge.
That is interesting, and you know what, Diogo? That's I think the most common challenge that I see from our friends and clients is not really their competitors or the market, is fear.
Yes.
Fear of change.
Yes.
Because they think that something like that has to be, if not impossible, extremely expensive, close to impossible, and maybe only relegated to the largest companies in my country. Petrobras in Brazil. They are the only ones that can really go outside and expand and conquer the US. But how could I ever even dream about something like that?
Exactly.
But it's not, right?
Yeah, and that's how I felt. I was like, oh, well, wait, is that it? I should have done that earlier. It's kind of no big deal. There's a lot of things that we have to face as entrepreneurs, and it's no big deal. It's not expensive, and that's the biggest challenge, what hindered us, that stopped us, that prevented us from going abroad. We could have done that way earlier, years earlier, but we were afraid. We didn't know where to look. We were in the dark. So that was a big challenge and a big step. But once we actually we took that step, it was not that hard. It was cheaper than we thought. It was easier than we thought. And then came the next challenge, which was, okay, I'm here. Now what? Right now, I got to find clients. I got to make this work. So that's the second challenge, which it was, to be honest, it was less scary than we thought, because now the ball was on our court. We didn't we didn't depend on other people. We could just get to work. So after we felt like, okay, we're here, it took us some time to accept that, I have an American company. It's kind of weird. It's a weird feeling, now it took us a few years to actually get that idea. And then the second challenge is, of course, finding new clients, learning more about the American culture, doing marketing, sales, and so on. But I think that like you said that very well, I think the greatest challenge was this initial fear, and this constant fear that maybe I won't be able to make that happen. But in the end, it's been working out really well.
Right, exactly. So it's like someone said, what would you do if you knew that you couldn't fail, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could do anything. If you just knew that you can't fail. And so that's the fear of change, fear of failing is probably the greatest challenge that most of our friends and clients face every day. Now let's talk about that second phase. Now you established your company here. You're still living and still live in Brazil. But now you need to grow and find clients in the US and start doing business. How was that? Tell me a little bit about that process, because it's quite impressive. And with today's technology, it's not that difficult. I mean, it's not like the olden days when you actually had to go door to door and knock literally on doors and have meetings with people. You didn't do that. How did it work then?
Again, I think one important step was to accept that idea. Like you said, we can actually do that. You can email pretty much anyone. If you Google how to find clients, you can learn about a bunch of stuff for free from your house. So it's more about the idea that you can actually accepting this idea that you can make that happen. And then the discipline and the routine to actually put some time into that and get to work. So once we accepted that we were good enough, we could find clients, and we actually took some time every single day, every week, and we still do that. We've been doing that for years now. We eventually, after you know how sales goes, how marketing is. Yeah, you'll have to shoot 100 times to get one. To aim at the target once. Like, it's not easy, but it does happen. I always tell people that it's not. We keep planting seeds, and we expect them to grow when we want them to grow. Like, now I planted here, I want to harvest it here, but that's not how it goes. Like, most of the seeds you plant, you never know how they're gonna grow, or when you're gonna harvest them,
or if they're even going to work
exactly. But there are a lot of those invisible connections, and after maybe 2-3 years, the effort you made in the past ends up becoming something good. So for example, we've landed a client this month that I met in 2022. So in 2022, I went to an event and I met them and I invested. And after 1-2 years, I thought, this is not going to happen. It was useless, and turns out it was not. And last month, we landed a potential client, a lead that we've been sending cold emails and LinkedIn posts for about 9 months. And now it's the first time they actually open one and talk to us because they want to hire us. So it takes time, it takes effort, but it does happen. It does. And of course, learning more about American culture, creating relationships, learning more about marketing, sales, of course it's helpful, and that's what gets it going. But you need to do that anywhere else in the world, in the US, in Brazil. If you have a business, you got to make that happen. It's no different in America.
I think that's a good point. It's no different. It's just whatever you're doing in your country, you keep doing it here, and sales 101, marketing 101, something is going to work out if you just continue the path. So that's absolutely true. That's absolutely reasonable. Now let's talk about the cultural differences. Although obviously your English is perfect, there's gotta be I'm sure there was at some point, at least, some sort of surprise, some sort of thing that wasn't expected from a relationship, a connection, an interaction that you were not necessarily expecting, and that happened, or no?
No, that there were a few.
Really?
There were, yeah. I think this cultural aspect is really interesting, and it's worth paying attention to. And it's not, again, we're not talking about the U.S. We're talking about the entire world, right? If you're gonna make business in Dubai or China or Australia, you gotta know where you are. People are different, and the routine is different. So, something we did, it's something I like to do, is we did a lot of research about American culture, about the language. We try to be as open as possible, so it's not about me, it's about them. I am the one who is trying to be part of this group. So I try to respect as much as I could. It's not about Brazil and samba and my culture, my language, not this time. I love that, and it's really important. But since I'm the one, let's say I'm the stranger. I'm the person trying to land there. So I tried to be as interested, open, and respectful as possible. So I really wanted to learn about American culture, American language, about routine, and even it didn't matter if I agreed or not, if it's right or wrong. I just wanted to be open to learn more about it and learn how that works. And that really helped, because we have a lot of prejudices. We have good things and bad things about America. I think every country has that. Sure. But when you actually open yourself to listen and try to understand, it helps a lot. So Americans are different than Brazilians, of course. We have different cultures. But you asked me about surprises, right? So let me think about something interesting. I remember I thought when I went there, people would treat me badly, or they would be very cold, because Brazilians think that Americans are cold and distant because they're not Latinos, they're different. Right. And I have always been very welcome. Like, everyone has been, their hospitality has been great. Everyone was super polite and gentle. And there's something I really love about American working culture, is that how much they value their time. So if they're gonna ask you to do something, or if you need help, if you need someone's time, they know that has a price. So if I'm gonna talk to you, Carlos, and I need 1 hour of your time, it's not like, hey, can you please help me? I'm gonna call you and give me all the information you got because we're friends. That's not how it goes. It's your knowledge, your time, that has a value, and that has a price.
Time's money.
And the same goes for us. Like, if someone asks for a video or anything, oh, can you please change that? Oh, how long does that gonna take you? So how long is that gonna cost me? That's completely inside their working culture, from the janitor to the CEO. And I love that, because it helps you respect businesses, and everyone understands this idea of time and value and work. Whereas sometimes in Brazil, people are gonna be like, hey, can you, come on, that's a favor. I don't have any more budget. Could you do that for free? And that's something it really harms us here. So it's a really good aspect of American culture.
Yeah. No. Time's money here.
Time is money, my friend. Yeah.
Time's money. Cool deal, Diego. Awesome. Look, I appreciate it. Really, your time here with us on our first chat with Carlos. Definitely. And we're going to be doing this hopefully on a regular basis, although everybody's busy. We're going to be talking with other, partners, clients, friends, people from the media here in the US, maybe, to bring these ideas and these concepts to our community. because we love our community. It's growing fast. It's thousands of entrepreneurs and future entrepreneurs around the world that follow us now. And we want to share the best practices, challenges, successes, dreams and nightmares sometimes, because it's good to know everything about doing this and leaving your comfort zone and thinking outside of the box, so on and so forth, as they say. So again, thank you so much, Diogo. I really appreciate it. We'll be talking very soon. And for all of our friends around the world, stay tuned, and we will come back with more chats with Carlos. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you, guys.